going off. We're going to take a step behind the view known as the Eternal City. And then we're going to take a little stroll going up this side of the hill where we eventually come to the grave of Governor Baldwin. And then the Honorable Rasdre will bring you down the destruction site so you could see the damage that is being done to the hill. And then, as was promised, we should seal off today, looking at the setting of the sun, not the exact when it dips, but we'll have an idea where it is going. And by the time the whole of this event is done, you'll see the heights of why Green Castle is so important to us. So again, officially, Green Castle Hill. You know, for those who are coming here for the first time, which appears to be the majority of you, this young man here is coming here for the second time. The first time he came here, he was a little baby inside of a thing. This left when was carried. Now we have the pictures still, so we know that. In fact, she's on the video we did, the documentary, an international documentary that went all over the world about Green Castle Hill. And he was there in the little pram, the little whatever, pound. In fact, was it her mother? Okay, well, this good brother, his mother was with us too. And she came up the hill with a cane. And by the time she was coming down, the cane was put aside. Yeah, and she run. As the king said, she run. And that's not the first time that happened. She's trying to bring us into now the mystics of this hill. So the most outstanding feature of the hill, outside of the fever grass, and you don't see no fever grass yet, the fever grass is extremely low and very friendly. Yeah. Trust me. Believe me, because when the fever grass is high, even me myself, and you can see myself, it's almost like if I'm swimming in the ocean, and it would hide all of these rocks. In fact, the little fever grass that you have is actually hiding a lot of the rocks that you would see much clearer if the grass was burned away. Now, what you're looking at is a natural protrusion volcanic rocks. You said if you know the volcano last night? Yeah, you said yes. You can talk to him about that afterwards. A protrusion of volcanic rocks is what covers this hill. Now, we're basically in the front room of the hill, because at least when we go up to the Eternal City, that's what up there is called, that mountain behind it, you will at least get a better view of some of the other areas of the hill. And when you go to the top, you will actually see the whole hill. Now, the hill itself, almost 700 feet high, again, is littered or scattered with these rocks, these volcanic rocks. And what is interesting, this is like a science class now, what is interesting about these rocks is that they were not placed there according to popular thinking. These rocks naturally come out of the earth. It's a geological phenomenon taking place here. So obviously the formation of these rocks in this formation that they did obviously would have taken at least tens of thousands of years. Listen to me good. These rocks, they are called megaliths. I know you all know what megaliths are. Megaliths, mega means big. Yeah. And anything with lift is rock. Mega, lift, big rocks. So when you hear people talk about megalithic sites, those are sites in different parts of the world, like Stonehenge, which is the most famous. That is why they call Antigua, or at least Green Castle, the Stonehenge of the Caribbean. Because in England, in Salisbury, there is a place called Stonehenge, where you have some great rocks, great megaliths, in a circular formation, with some horizontal rocks around discover it. And Stonehenge now was built in such a way that on the summer solstice, follow me good, winter solstice, and the equinoxes, the rising of the sun and the setting of the sun would cast a specific shadow on Stonehenge, which would make it appear as if the sun is aligning with specific stones. As one of you told me coming up tomorrow is the summer solstice or the beginning of summer. Somebody said that. Right. So now, summer is supposedly in the tropics the longest day of the year, at least in the northern hemisphere. So that is when the sun is at its most northern point. If today was the 21st of December, the sun would have been more over on that side because it would be more on its southern side. If it was March or September, the sun would be in the middle. So the sun does that all throughout the year. It goes north and it comes south and it goes north and it comes south. And we all know that the sun is not moving, the sun is not coming up and going down in the sea. It is because of the earth and the way it rotates and how it revolves that gives this impression of the sun moving. This is ancient sea. That is why the Bible in the 19th Psalm says that the heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament, same thing, heaven, sky, showing his handiwork. Day unto day uttereth speech. You're not hearing nothing in it, but all this is a speech. Night unto night, knowledge. Here's another thing that the Bible said. He said if people would not praise him, he'd light the prophets. Give him praise. You don't mean that the rock's going to start to sing a hymn. Hallelujah. No. It means that if you study the rocks properly, if you study the movements of the heavens properly, you will see the handiwork of the Almighty God. So this is why now, all over the world, Stonehenge, you can go in Central America, you will find all the great pyramids in Central America. All of these structures built, right? Summer solstice, winter solstice, and equinoxes. Some of them, like the pyramid in Egypt, was built in such a way that it aligned with the solar, the celestial northern pole. That means you have certain stars that go around the northern pole of the sky. The sky has a north pole, just as the earth has a north pole. There's a center point in the sky where you see stars just going around in a circle. They call circumpolar stars. They have monuments built on this planet that were built in such a way that they align with these special stars at special times. Now, all of what I'm saying, right, if it sounds too heavy, don't worry your head. The reason why I'm pushing all that on you, you don't even have to understand it. It just have to sound heavy. Because all what I'm saying is happening on this hill. And this is not a man-made building. This is not the pyramid. This is not even Stonehenge in England. This is a natural monument with stones pushing out of the ground. And that can be proven. When you go on that side, you will see for yourself stones because they mash up that side, you know. So you get a chance to see how inside looks. So you see the stones literally coming out of the ground, which has to be a process that would have taken at least tens of thousands of years. So now we have the solstice here. They have certain alignments right here on this hill. When we have the equinox, there's certain alignments. And listen, this is not us just saying this. We have scientists. There's a scientist by the name of Dr. Mara Imbert. She is from the University of the West Indies in Trinidad. And in 2003, she did a study on this hill. Brother Ewart Isaac was also with her. And in her report, she says that the phallic stone that you will see in a moment has a special alignment with the Little Dipper, which is one of the stars I was just speaking about, or constellations, pardon me, in the northern celestial sky, known as a circumpolar constellation. Again, even if you don't fully get it, once it sounds heavy, you're supposed to understand big stuff happening up here. Remember again, you know, this hill is being destroyed. You can't go nowhere else in the world and get anything quite like this. Don't mind the size of Antigua or that little place, the man. Kentucky bigger than that. No, don't mind, don't make that fool you. Remember, Antigua supposedly is not a volcanic island, so there must be some level of volcanic vein, because there are a lot of water veins under here. The Antigua Masonry product has dug in the ground and burst water veins and created artificial pools behind here that we can show you within the last 7 years, because they weren't there all the time, in the same way that they created this road. This road is about 9 years old. You understand? So you could imagine this is a sacred site. It's a national park too. And I wouldn't even begin to go into the politics of it. There's so many other things that can be said about where we are here. As you could see, we're sitting down on some natural thrones. These are thrones. There are countless of thrones all over. Well, not countless, but there are many thrones. I don't want to exaggerate, I don't want to make it sound like I'm too powerful. When I say there are countless of rocks, I actually mean that. They're not countless of thrones, but they have plenty of thrones up here, naturally just protruding out of the earth. They have several beds where you can literally see it's a bed with a pillow and a buttress for you, like a lazy boy seat. And these beds and thrones and all of these things, when you sit down and you watch certain things, if you understand how the heavens move, you will notice what's going on. This throne right here, I'm telling you, careful my lord, this throne right here aligns with the crossing of the Sirius star. Trust me. But you'd have to be here maybe in the night to see Sirius crossing. And trust me, right here is where Sirius aligns with this throne. So the whole hill is an astronomical heaven. Anybody that's into archaeology and astronomy, this is like a mecca to them. And we mashing it up. I will leave it at that. Yeah, that's all right. I'll give Rashly a moment. After that, you want to come on the throne and after that, you know, you'll be able to take some pictures and everything. You know, I'm sure everybody done breathe off. And then when we go to the Eternal City, I will reintroduce Brother Paddy Simon to you, and we carry to another level. My Lord.
Yes, blessed Lord. So I'm sure you got a good earful there from the priest. So you're understanding, you know, that what you are seeing here. Because as I was telling the good brother, we're not really at the hill yet when we're coming up there. But now you're starting to see, you know, the rocks and starting to get the understanding of the alignments and stuff like that. And I will just touch it a bit further, even to show you the alignment with Antigua and where would be called Heliopolis in Egypt. Because if you take the section, and all this is in the book that the Honorable Chief has out there, Anu, Ancient and Modern, talking about the spirit of Antigua. You know, so if you take a section of the River Nile, where that city Heliopolis is, and you should make it transparent and put it on the northeastern corner of the Caribbean chain of islands, Heliopolis is exactly where Antigua is in that whole movement, and you know how, you know, it curves and stuff like that, and Heliopolis and Antigua is perfectly aligned. And the mystic of it is where you find Heliopolis, meaning Sun City, is also a name that, you know, they give Antigua Sun City. You know, even in the license plate you see Sun, Sea and Sun, you know. So even if you go further now, Heliopolis is the Greek name for that city, after the Greeks conquered Egypt. But the Egyptian name for it was Anu. And then again, when you look at the port abbreviation for Antigua, it's Anu. So you're seeing a mystic kind of alignment there. And then you're seeing this hill that have these mystic rocks, volcanic rocks. It's not a volcanic island, but these rocks are coming up. Then you hear scientists, you know, astrologists, you know, coming here and finding these alignments with stars, you know. So right there you're seeing, as the king pointed out in his book, the ancient and modern spirit making that alignment, you know, from that ancient time in ancient land of Kemet, and now in Antigua, and even the 365 beach slogan that we run, here for Antigua. In Heliopolis, there are 365 temples erected to a goddess called Sekhmet. So you still see the 365 and then the sun connotation, and 365 is still the number of the solar year. So there's a lot of similarities with these places, you know. So whereas you can even go further and check out the book and get that information to see where the priests take it further to show you that mysticism of the link between Antigua, Greencastle Hill and Heliopolis in Kemet. You know, so on that note now, that's something else for you to think about. You guys can come and get some pictures on the drones, and then we'll move on to where we call the Eternal City, and then go up to the Vulva, to the Phallic, and then ultimately the summit of the hill where we'll get the whole mystic about Governor Baldwin being up here. Blessed Lord.